Kids Playground.
Hooray!
This is the Deron Harris Podcast. Here's your host, Deron Harris.
Hey folks, what's up? Welcome back to the show. I'm Deron Harris. This is my podcast. Thank you for joining me this week. I do appreciate you. Check it out, man. It's no secret that the Democratic Party is struggling. They're having some real big issues right now, some super deep struggles, and it's only getting worse. Things are getting worse. And to me, I'm asking this question. This party is over. Is it time for us to bounce? And it's basically us. Should Black Americans continue to support the Democratic Party? And if not, then who should we support? I mean, it's a really serious deal because 83% of Black voters are Democrats. But the Democratic Party, historically they've come up short for us. So a lot of us, we don't even know why we're Democrats. A lot of people don't understand how they even became part of the Democratic Party. They just don't understand it. Their parents were Democrats, and they supported these policies. So I guess we should be Democrats too. And that's how a lot of Black voters ended up Democrats, just by default. It was like a default button. So, and we've been rocking with the Democratic Party for like 100 years, a little bit like almost like 100 years. And we don't have shit to show for it. We still out here struggling. We still got scraps. Our Democratic leaders, they ain't got no spine. These motherfuckers is straight up pussies. And they keep telling us the same shit every election cycle. Vote for us and we'll make sure, your issues are taken care of first. You know what I'm saying? And we're getting tired of it. So today, I'm going to break it all the way down, how the Democratic Party got our loyalty, and really now how they're fucking it up, man, how they fumbling the ball with us, and why it's time for us to build our own power and stop waiting and stop begging. So I'm going to be talking about that today. But first, I really do, like I want to do every week, I want to check everybody's mental health to make sure that everybody here within the sound of my voice is doing all right, man. I always like to check that because I know, especially, in today's society, and this is all over the world, today's society, things ain't going well here on the planet. So I want everybody to know that there is help out there. If you're feeling stressed, if you're having a bunch of anxiety, you in a depressed mood, there are people out here that are here to help you. And I am a huge advocate for therapy. I'm in therapy, and I swear by it. It does help. It definitely takes the edge off. So don't deny yourself the help. If you need it, please go out and get some help today, and don't wait. So with that being said, I'm going to get right into it. So how did the Democrats get the Black vote? Now, you guys are going to have to bear with me because I collected a bunch of information. I'm going to have to read through it. But we wasn't always Democrats. We, as a matter of fact, back in the days, we was Republicans because Lincoln, that was the party of Lincoln, was Republicans, and he was the one who ended slavery, so we was rocking with that dude. But then, the 30s hit, and Franklin D. Roosevelt, he came through with this thing called the New Deal. Now, for those, I had to do a little bit of research on it. I'm going to have to read through it so that you guys can understand it as well. The New Deal, it was Franklin D. Roosevelt's New Deal from 1933 to 1939 was a series of programs and reforms designed to lift the U.S. out of the Great Depression. It focused on relief for struggling Americans, recovery for the economy, and reform to prevent future crises. Some of the key initiatives included the Works Progress Administration, or the WPA, and the Civilian Conservation Corps, or the CCC, which created jobs. The Social Security Act was in 1935, which established pensions and unemployment insurance. And the Tennessee Valley Authority, the TVA, that brought electricity to rural areas. The New Deal also introduced regulations like the Glass-Steagall Act, which protected bank deposits, and the Securities Exchange Commission, the SEC, which regulated the stock market. And for Black Americans, the New Deal provided some economic relief and job opportunities, leading to a shift in political loyalty towards the Democratic Party. However, many of the programs excluded Black workers, particularly in agricultural and domestic labor. And President Roosevelt avoided major civil rights reforms to maintain the support from the Southern Democrats. Despite the shortcomings, the New Deal fundamentally reshaped the role of government in American life and expanding social safety nets and economic regulations that still impact our society's policies today. So just to be clear, the New Deal, it was not made for us. It was not made to help us, even though some of the policies did. They gave us, some jobs and some housing stability during the middle of the Depression. My grandfather was able to keep his, our property, our family plot. It was all right for us. Now, again, make no mistake about it. It was not love for us. It was survival. They was trying to make the country was struggling its ass off, and they were trying to create a way for the country to survive. And it actually did some help for us, okay? And then in 1948, Truman, he desegregated the military, and that started, people started talking about civil rights. Now, after he did that, a lot of the Southern Dixiecrats, they called them, they kind of bounced. A lot of these people broke away, and when that started happening, Black folks, we started leaning in even harder to the Democratic Party. We started, getting down with them more because, the people in the South that opposed us, they were jumping ship. So naturally, we kind of flocked, we filled that void, and, we jumped in there. So we fast forward to the 60s. And this is when things really got serious. The civil rights was fucking popping. We had the Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act. Fucking Johnson was talking about we shall overcome and all that shit. And, shit was making a difference. He was doing shit that actually kind of made a difference for us. And at the same time, though, a lot of Republicans, they saw this and said, fuck it, let's double down on some racism. And that's how the Southern strategy was born, okay? So a lot of white conservatives, they picked up and they left the Democratic Party. And when they did that, like I said, we moved in. And by the late 70s, Black people, we was nearly all Democrats. We was all Democrats. We was loving the Democratic Party, and we stayed with the Democratic Party even after they stopped doing shit for us. Now let that sink in for a couple of minutes, man. Let that marinate, man. We stayed. It's obvious. We're 83% Democrats. We stayed even after they stopped doing shit for us. Okay, so we gave them our votes. We fought for them. We definitely showed up for them. But what the fuck did we get? What did they give us? Well, they gave us economic stagnation. They gave us mass incarceration. They gave us economic disparities. They gave us lack of tangible policy changes. They gave us political exploitation without accountability. They gave us gentrification and housing displacement. They gave us weak stances on Black-owned businesses. And they gave us symbolism over substances. You know what I'm saying? They talked about economic justice, but we still broke. Our schools are still underfunded. Our businesses still get denied loans. Bill Clinton's welfare reform fucked a lot of families up for fucking generations. The 1994 crime bill, the one that Joe Biden wrote, the one that fucking Clinton signed, that bill destroyed black families to this day. Locked up generations of black men while blowing up the private prison industry. And these are the people who fucking care about us. Democratic-run cities got the worst public schools, man. And meanwhile, black parents who want school choice get blocked because Democrats are in bed with a lot of the teachers' unions. It's fucking crazy. They'll stand there and they not like us. They not and dance in fucking kente cloth. But when it comes to fucking, where's the motherfucking reparations bill? Where's the Black Wealth Initiative? Fucking nowhere. But they got money for Ukraine. They got money for Israel. They got money for corporate bailouts. And don't get me wrong, I'm all for supporting our allies. But you're forgetting some people at home that you have owed for centuries, who, if it wasn't for these people, my people, on many occasions, had we not been there to fight, there would be no fucking democracy. They use us for our fucking votes, and then they fucking bounce and ghost on us every fucking time. A lot of Democratic mayors, they lead the charge for fucking gentrification. They want to fucking push us out of our fucking communities to make room for more of them. I mean, look at Harlem. Look at Bed-Stuy. Look at fucking Atlanta and Chicago. They still claim to support us, but black entrepreneurs, they get fucking nothing, while big corporations get fucking billions. Billions. We don't need the first this or that anymore. We don't need that. We need action. We need power. We need wealth, substance. We need real people making real change in real time, in real life, real motherfucking talk. And that's the truth. And there's a difference. There's a solid difference in Democrats. There's a solid difference amongst Democrats. And when I come back, we're going to get into what the Democratic differences are.
The podcast playground. Hooray!
Now, back to the Deron Harris Podcast.
Hey, y'all, welcome back. When I left, I was about to get into the differences of Democrats. What's the difference in Democrats? Well, there's a difference between black Democrats and white Democrats. There is, besides skin color, there is a distinct difference between black Democrats and white Democrats. But wait, if we're all Democrats, then what the fuck is the difference? How come we can't, why can't we get shit done? Why are we still at odds? Well, because at the end of the day, now remember this, the interest of a white Democrat and a black Democrat don't always align. The interest of white Democrats are largely still, because the interest is this. We differ because white Democrats still benefit from white privilege and the existing power structures, even when they claim to be progressive or liberal. They might support surface level social justice issues when it comes to policies that could significantly shift some shit though, like reparations, closing the racial wealth gap, or criminal justice reform. Even they pump the fucking brakes. You know what I'm saying? Why? It's because real equity would require some level of sacrifice from those who have historically benefited from this system. That's the reason why. Now, black Democrats, on the other hand, are voting not because they love the Democratic Party. We're not voting Democratic because we love the party. As a matter of fact, a lot of black people have a lot of issues with the Democratic Party, I being one of them. It's because the fucking Republicans hate us. And that's the Republican Party has historically been anti-black, super hostile to black interest, doubling down on voter suppression, a bunch of racist ass policies. Open to fucking white nationalism. Look at the fucking government now. They fucking hate us. Everything they do, they hate us. Trump this week took the last African country off of the fucking visa waiver list, and he added Romania. So there are no African countries on the visa waiver list. So what the fuck does that mean? That means that they ain't trying to let black people come in the country from other countries. We have enough black people here now. Nobody else from no other country. What kind of shit is that? Racism. That's what the fuck it is. So there it is. Now, that doesn't mean that Democrats get the free pass. It doesn't mean that at all. But what it does mean is black voters, we often get caught in this fucking political catch-22, if you will. We always, God damn it. I mean, should we vote this way or should we vote that way? Usually we vote Democratic because the Republican parties fucking sting just a little bit more. It's fucking crazy. Now, there's definitely a divide. But there are some reasons why the divide exists within the Democratic Party. And one of the reasons is, or the first reason is, we have different definitions of progress. And white Democrats want incremental change, all right? A little bit of change at a little bit of time. They support civil rights, but they don't want to upend the system that gives them an advantage. See, they want civil rights, but they don't want to give up that cling to superiority, that cling to dominance. You know what I'm saying? Black Democrats, on the other hand, we know that incremental change ain't doing shit. It ain't working out. I mean, when our communities are still facing generational poverty, police brutality, and other systemic racist issues, we know that this shit ain't, that incremental change is bullshit. That little bit of change, we need sweeping change right now. Okay? Number two is economic self-preservation. That's another difference. For a lot of their talk of equality, a lot of white liberals are uncomfortable when it comes to redistributing power and wealth. They just don't want to do it. That's why, like reparations, it's like they avoid the shit out of it. It's like a motherfucker that owe you money, been owing you money for fucking, they duck and dodge the shit out of us on a lot of these issues. And it's simply because they are afraid to relinquish that power. It's easy to support diversity in theory, but it's harder to let go of like economic privileges that have benefited them for generations. Look at how liberals still, they still have gentrification issues in the cities. They still got these issues. Look at how many black businesses struggle to get funding while other businesses, they get blessed heavily under fucking Democratic leadership. You know what I'm saying? They have selective outrage. That's number 3. And performative activism. And what that means is, remember how Democrats was marching for George Floyd? They was like out there like posting black squares and screaming, defund the police. And fast forward a few fucking years now, and it's the same people telling us to move on, the same people defending the crime bill, and still low-key pushing for more police funding. You know what I'm saying? Same fucking Democrats, y'all. Their activism is real loud at the moment. When they fucking mad about some shit, yeah, we're up in arms about it. But when it comes time for real policy change, again, these motherfuckers ghost us. They bounce. And it's for the fear of losing control, which is number 4. The Democratic Party wants black votes, but not necessarily black power. The second we start talking about wealth redistribution and land ownership or true political independence, even allies start getting nervous. They really do. White Democrats are fine with us sitting at the table just as long as they still have the head seat. That's all it's about, is them being in charge. We can be down with the program. Yes, we need your input. We need your diversity, but we don't necessarily want your leadership. We got it from here. You know what I mean? But, in order to get our votes, they dangle our issues in front of us. You know what I'm saying? Well, we're looking at these issues to try to make it make sense for the black community so that we can get them some relief. But every fucking time they fucking bounce. So what do? So what the fuck do we do? I'll tell you what we do. We stop giving our votes away for fucking free, for one. We start making real ass demands and fucking holding them accountable on that shit, for two. For three, we invest in our own fucking communities like I profess and say every week. We support our own businesses, and we stop waiting for handouts from these people. And we shut their ass down when they show up just asking us for our votes with nothing in return on some hollow promise. We shut that shit down. We build our own. We take back our power. We don't ask for a damn thing. We motherfucking take it. You hear me? Now, a lot of people are like, oh, but how can this be possible? We're all on the same team. Well, there's a lot of fucking racism in the Democratic Party. Hell yes, there is. And motherfuckers saying, oh, no, we're not. Yes, the fuck they are. Yes. Let's call it what the fuck it is. These motherfuckers is racist too. Just because they ain't running around here in MAGA hats and waving Confederate flags don't mean they not part of that same fucking racist rhetoric. No shit. Open your eyes. Now, it ain't all of them, man. It's definitely not all of them. But yes, there is quite a few of them. Don't forget now, the KKK started with the Democratic Party. Don't forget that. All right? Now, they take us for granted. Now, they expect us. They know. You know, even though these motherfuckers, they expect us. No matter what. They don't even have to fucking try anymore. That's how little respect they have for us. They don't even try. They know we're going to vote for them, and they know they don't have to do shit for us. They know that. They prioritize other groups over black people, like immigrants, and they protected LGBTQ folks. They protected climate initiatives, fucking funded. But black folks, we'll get to y'all later. Not that I oppose the protections of those other groups. I don't at all. As a matter of fact, I'm a Democrat. I do support all those groups and all those initiatives. But I also support black folks as well, and I'm finding out that that's where the fucking line is drawn in the party. They'll support all this other shit, but when it comes to black initiatives, they will most definitely get to us later. Okay? They keep all of our leaders in check, or they give us motherfuckers that don't rock the boat. You know what I mean? Like fucking motherfuckers who play nice and don't really push for fucking, radical change, like the actual change that we need. Their neoliberal policies that they have that actually harm our communities. They keep us comfortable with enough to stay in the system, but never enough to truly own our own power. They give us tokenism instead of real power. They give us black faces, not real control. I love Barack Obama, but he couldn't even get reparations on the fucking table. And Kamala Harris, she don't need to be motherfucking dancing around with Megan Thee Stallion. We don't need that. We don't need that. You know what I'm saying? And also the media machine, they control our narrative. The Democratic machine controls the black conversation. If you step outside the script, you too radical. You too divisive, dangerous, loud. Sound familiar? Because it is. They do this shit every fucking time. They don't want you to be too big. They don't want you to be too black. So then we're back to respectability politics, where I got to behave in a certain way or speak a certain way in order to be accepted into your little fucking club. Man, fuck that shit. Fuck that. Fuck that shit. So there is a bigger picture. And a lot of people are like, wow, D, man, You're bashing up the Democrats pretty good. Are you turning Republican? Fuck no. That's a fuck no. As a matter of fact, that is a fucking no. That is a motherfucking no. How about a motherfucking hell no? I'm not advocating to become a Republican, because it's a fucking trap. All right? It's not about Democrats. It's about the fucking system altogether, the whole two-party fucking trap. They got us thinking that we only have two choices: a party that ignores us or a party that openly hates us. What a fucking game to play, man. What a fucking game to play. But what the fuck, like I said, what if we stopped playing their fucking games? What if we stopped? What if we put the motherfucking ball down and said, you motherfuckers can have this shit? What if we put the fucking cards down and said, you motherfuckers are done, man. We're finished here. We're going to go play our own game. What if we built our own? What if we took control of our own economy, like I say almost every week, our own communities? What if we stopped begging these people for change and we just made the fucking change ourselves? What if we did that? What if we did that? OFF. What if we OFF? What if we put our future first? What if we did that? Because the future is not the Democratic Party. The future is not the Republican Party. The future is in us, our economic independence, our political power, our community building. That is the way forward, and it does not work any other way. We have to get tired of seeing what we're seeing from ourselves. Okay? I'm going to take a quick, fast break, and when I come back, I'm going to wrap this shit up, all right? Be right back.
The Podcast Playground. Hooray!
Now, back to the Deron Harris Podcast.
Hey, y'all, welcome back. So, there it is, y'all. You know, the Democrats got some serious issues, and they got some serious tap dancing to do if they want to. I think if they want to continue to hold on to the black vote, if they want to continue to, they need to really actually start representing us. And as a matter of fact, I mean, I think we as black people, as the black community, if there's nobody to represent us, then they shouldn't have our votes. Simple as that. Because they have shown us time after time that you know, our voices just don't matter. They just need our votes. Okay? So if this episode has got you thinking, then do me a favor, man. Stop waiting. Stop hoping and start building. Find a black business and support it. Simple as that. Educate yourself on economics, man. You know, I mean, like beyond this two-party bullshit. And most importantly, get out there and spread this message. Okay? Because we ain't really got to take this shit, y'all. And we got to understand that. We don't have to take this shit. We are power. We are power. We just need to start acting like it. So I think that's going to do that for this episode of the Deron Harris Podcast. I do appreciate it. And think about what I said, y'all. I mean, I really, really do. I mean, we the ones that's got to change the game because we see how they changing it. You know, we see this the party that represents us stand idly by while these motherfuckers change and take us fucking back to before we had, you know, the things that we had. And they're doing it actively to cripple us. And it just seems like our party is helping that along. So the Democrats definitely have some thinking to do, and so does Black America. So y'all get to thinking, and I will too. So I want to thank my parents for giving me the mouthpiece. I want to thank my wife for being my biggest fan. I want to thank my producer, Jesse Gandel, for being the greatest producer out there, man. I want to thank Gentry Thomas for the platform. And most importantly, I would like to thank all of my listeners that tune in every week and have stuck with me and continue to stick with me. I want to thank everybody who has listened to me and no longer listens, and the people who have not yet listened. I want to thank you guys in advance. So until next week, y'all, I don't know, man. I don't know what I'll be talking about next week, but tune in because I'm sure it'll be some crazy shit. So until next week, I'm Deron Harris. Peace.
You've been listening to the Deron Harris Podcast. Subscribe to the show, give a good rating, and everything you need to know is at DeronHarris.com.